What's good, guys? This is Chef Boy JP back with a new Amara build for you. This is Seed of Corruption Amara. Seed of Corruption Amara is an M10 Nimbus build that can clear pretty much any content. Scale takedown, Mala 1, Guardian takedown, Cistern of Slaughter, Circle Slaughter, Slaughter Star 9000, you name it, it can do it. You'll see our first weapon up here is the Gargoyle. We use this for second wins. Drone Rangers, Laser Fares, you see them, switch this out, hit them, you'll get up real quick. If not, just hit a regular enemy. This melts everything. Next weapon over is the Sellout. This allows us to inflict a dot on ourselves, throw 1 point in infusion, and you can also inflict a shock dot on yourself when you have the shock action skill. This pairs perfectly with the Elemental Projector artifact, as when you're taking damage of one damage type, it'll increase your damage with that damage type. The next weapon over is going to be our Ion Cannon. I've tested this with every anointment. 200 ASEs, hands down the best one. It will snapshot when you use your action skill. It'll snapshot your weapon damage and trigger your cloud, giving you a very high damage dot. 390 is ineffective because the dot falls off the second your enemy goes under 90. 250 face cast is good, but it's situational. Any anointment you guys have a question about, let me know. I've tested them all. I'd be happy to talk to you about it in the comments. And on the Ion Cannons, I'm pretty sure 131,000 is the highest damage roll, as I farmed for quite a while and that was the highest I saw. Your force slot is completely a flex slot. I'm currently having an eruption up in here, but you can really use whatever you want. I personally like the eruption, as you guys have seen in other videos. I feel like it's got a very fun and rewarding play style. It allows you to use your downtime in builds like this to apply debuffs and debuff your enemies. Over for your shield, we're using Old Gods. You want to have a bunch of different elements, allowing you to mix and match for different content you're doing, and allowing you to benefit from the Guardian perk Armageddon. Having a healthy mix of these elements will allow you to melt some enemies surprisingly fast. For your grenade, you just want anything with an ASE. I recommend ASE Radiation because it'll allow your enemies to explode on death, and that'll constantly keep chaining. It'll allow you to clear mobs out pretty quick. The actual grenade, it's Piss. That's not important. Use whatever you want. I personally like its Piss because of the debuff it applies to enemies. Over to our class mod, we have the Nimbus. This is an M10 Nimbus build. Ideally, you want weapon damage and action skill cooldown rate on one artifact, on one class mod. That would be the best rule. Weapon damage is the only thing and the main thing you will see a major damage increase from on your class mod in terms of the dot coming from your cloud. Action skill cooldown rate is very strong because it gives us more ASE uptime, more action skills, and allows us to simply get more clouds out there. For your artifact, ideally you're going to want an Elemental Protector Auto Idol. We don't have a lot of sustain in this build, so the Auto Idol will give us awesome sustain while we're mobbing. Really, the only sustain you have is Clarity, so although we are very, very tanky, you do need some healing. Elemental Projector is the best way to increase your damage with this build, as with the sellout, you shoot yourself in the foot and you'll double your damage to that element. A great alternative for anyone who doesn't have either of these artifacts is the Pearl. The Pearl is very easy to stack up because of all our dots. We constantly have consecutive hits. And the Pearl gives us increased weapon damage, which will directly benefit our cloud. You can see with this build, you're going to want to keep your distance pretty often. Seeing as the only thing you're really attacking with is Phase Grasp, you can use that from anywhere on the map. So keeping your range is generally beneficial. You're going to want to try and grab big groups, let your dots just kind of tick up on them, and with Ties That Binds, it'll just kill the whole group within a matter of seconds. Very important to try and keep your ASEs up too, because that adds a lot of damage for us, and it allows us to mix in some elements, allowing us to benefit from Armageddon too. Hey guys, here's the skill tree for Seed of Corruption Amara. Starting in the red tree, we're going 5 out of 5 into Anima to boost our Nimbus dot and duration. Then in the next row, we're going 5 out of 5 into Tempest to boost our shock damage and elemental damage. In the third row, we're going to go grab Dread. Dread's going to give us increased gun damage every time we use our action skill. Since our Nimbus scales off our weapon damage, this is going to turn out to just more raw damage for us. We're going to go back up, grab 1 point into Infusion. This is going to allow us when we use the shock action skill to shoot ourselves with the sellout and trigger the Elemental Projector if we want. And then 3 out of 5 into Wildfire to help spread around our dot and move around the tree as we're trying to grab Ties That Bind from the red tree. Moving over into the blue tree, some things that stand out. 5 out of 5 Violet Tapestry. It's just going to help your dot take easier. Little extra cooldown from Restless just to use your action skill faster. Laid Bear doesn't actually work very well with Ties That Binds, but there's not many other options in the blue tree worth taking, so we take that just to move down the tree. 3 out of 3 into Wrath for extra gun damage, giving us stronger Nimbus clouds. 1 point into Remnant because Remnant's just generally useful. And then we're going all the way down the blue tree for Avatar, allowing us to use our action skill twice and get our ASEs on our Nimbus clouds. In the green tree, we're going 5 out of 5 Clarity for some regen, 5 out of 5 Helping Hands because we're always using our action skill and we get perfect uptime on this, makes us a lot tankier. 5 out of 5 Root to Rise because we are using an Elemental Projector Auto Idol ideally, and it's just going to help you stay alive a lot more. I put 1 point into Mindfulness because I like the extra movement speed and the delay. And then I put 1 point into Arms Deal just for that 12% splash resistance. The last couple of points in Green Tree, you can really move around to your preference. So if you want to switch up Green Tree a little bit for something you like better, go ahead. It won't disrupt the build in any way. For your action skill, go ahead and grab Ties That Binds. For your augment, it's going to be Allure. This will allow you to pull enemies in, get more enemies into your cloud. And then finally for your element, that's going to completely depend on what content you're doing. Look at your enemy's health bars, what's their beefiest bar, try and match that to maximize your damage. You can use a phase cast variant of this build whenever you're in a strictly single target situation where you wouldn't be able to benefit from Ties That Binds. In that time, you would also use a 250 ion cannon. Additionally, I would like to mention Glamour. Glamour is actually a lot of fun with this build. If you want to use a Glamour variant, just take a couple points out of Blue Tree, including Avatar, and move them over to Green Tree. Okay guys, here I'd like to highlight some more scale and model 1 takedown. This is just a feel for how the bridge goes. The way this build is set up allows us to trivialize some things you'll see, such as the flying eyes, the death spears. Usually they're kind of a pain. It also offers us a good amount of crowd control, but you will see our damage comes in bursts, as we need to wait for our dot to tick before our damage ramps up at any point. Alright, here are the Mayhem Modifiers. First to the Corruption Amara. Starting with the easy modifiers, Big Kick Energy is definitely the #1 modifier because it'll give us extra gun damage, allowing us to do extra damage with our dot, as that's what it's scaling off. Speed Demon is just a great alternative all around, so if you like Speed Demon, it won't hamper you too much, but Big Kick Energy will definitely give you more damage. For your medium modifier, Healy Avenger is the best choice. There's a couple other neutral things. You'll see I'm personally running Freeze Tag right now because I haven't gotten a great roll. But Healy Avenger is a preference. For your hard modifier, Drone Ranger, Laser Flare, anything of that sort is alright. Something kind of neutral is what you're looking for. And for your very hard modifier, Not the Face is ideal because we're not critting, we're not even shooting. Okay guys, here's some gameplay coming up of SoC Corruption Amara versus Wotan in Scaled Takedown. You'll see she does very well against Wotan in initial phases. When Wotan splits, it's a little harder to proc the dot, but the build still does well. I'm going to continue to fine tune this build and push it through, just update it as more content comes out. I'd love to hear any feedback about this build you guys have, how you guys think we can make it better or how we can make any changes. Alright, remember guys, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. If you like the content, if you want more, you have any specific requests, please let me know on any of those platforms. And if you enjoyed the video, remember to go ahead, leave a like. If you really enjoyed it, subscribe. There's going to be more content coming out soon. Thank you everyone for watching. Have an awesome day.